On this edition of Carolina Insider, parking for locals is about to get a lot more difficult in one Columbia area. We'll tell you where and why. An overlooked spot is experiencing a business boom, what it means for this part of town. And students now have a new way to get to class. How? All this and more coming up. Carolina Insider starts now. Hello, and welcome to this edition of Carolina Insider, a student production here in the Kennedy Greenhouse studio at the School of Journalism and Mass Communications. I'm Alex Garino. Our top story for today: a Richland County judge declared a mistrial in the rape case of a USC student. The alleged rape happened last January when a student was walking home from 5 Points. According to an article from The State, 23-year-old Carlos Hernandez faced charges for kidnapping and rape. The jury was unable to reach a decision due to lack of eyewitnesses. In other news, students and locals have always enjoyed free parking in 5 Points, but that will soon change. The city is getting rid of free parking on Saturday, and customers will now have to pay to park between the hours of 11 and 6. The City Council voted to change the enforced parking hours after students began parking and leaving their cars in 5 Points for the entire weekend. These new changes are expected to bring in even more business by making it easier for residents and visitors to find a place to park. And while you may run into trouble finding somewhere to park in 5 Points, you won't on North Main Street. It's no secret that Columbia's hottest food and entertainment scenes are in the Vista, 5 Points, and downtown on Main. But that's changing. A once overlooked part of town has turned into a diamond in the rough. From the outside, it may not look like much, but inside, the kitchen is hopping and the lunch crowd is happy at one of the newest restaurants in town. Warmouth opened on North Main 9 months ago. Two best friends had a goal: providing an authentic Southern dining experience, custom-made for locals. They're one of several new businesses in this once sleepy but rapidly changing part of town, and more development is in the works, including a multi-use complex right here at North Main and Highway 16. Christian Niemi, owner of Bourbon, Blue Marlin, and other successful ventures, bought this land and plans to open a restaurant, beer garden, and concert hall. City officials say they're ready for the construction boom, and so are the folks who live nearby, in Cottontown, Elmwood, and Earlwood. Doug Aylard says he's ready for some new neighbors. As owner of the Vino Garage, he was the first to settle down in the North Main corridor 4 years ago.
I'll be honest, it was really lonely. It was hard to get people to come up north, to come north of Elmwood. But thank God, through social media, the neighborhoods have been extremely supportive.
He's happy to see more toast-worthy options nearby. That's just what Warmouth's owners are banking on. So much so, they plan to open a barbecue-to-go stand right next door. The city has given out over a dozen building permits for the North Main corridor in the past year. Plans for several high-end housing complexes and more new restaurants are in the works. And getting to class may be a constant struggle for students at the university, but with the recent arrival of Zap scooters, that struggle just got easier. The Zap scooter app offers students a way to avoid expensive parking passes and long searches for a parking spot by using the Zap app. Students can rent the scooters for 20 cents a minute at over 400 locations on campus. According to Zap Rideshare, the app already has over 2,000 registered users since August 1st, and is showing no signs of slowing down anytime soon.
There's not always the convenience of driving your car because parking spots are hard to find, and there are designated spots for Zap scooters everywhere, and it's a lot cheaper than just spending gas.
With more scooters headed to USC, it seems Zap is changing the way students travel to class. For more information, visit rideshare.com. If you're looking for something to do this week and we have some ideas for you. Let's check in with Jada Williams so she can let you know what's coming up on this week's Carolina calendar. Jada?
Thanks, Alex. If you're looking for something to do outside in this beautiful weather, here are some events in this week's Carolina calendar. The USC Chamber Orchestra is performing Phantom of the Opera in the Darla Moore School of Business. The show starts Tuesday at 7:30. The USC women's soccer team battles Ole Miss at home on Thursday evening at 7. And Mayor Steve Benjamin hosts the Walk Against Domestic Violence at the Spirit Communications Park. The walk starts Saturday at 10. Back to you in the studio, Alex.
Thanks, Jada. That's all we have for this edition of Carolina Insider, a production of USC's journalism program. We'll see you back here next week.